G'day everyone, I'm Rajin Fox, and today I'm just going to do a quick little video showing off what Warframe is like, what it's all about. I had a couple people that have been interested in what it's like and wanted me to tell them what it was like, so I figured, hey, it's easier to do a video and just show it. So Warframe is pretty much described as a ninjas in space. A lot of jumping around, bouncing, running, killing. Pretty cool. You got a foundry here for setting up researchers. You can get companions here, Kavats and Kubros. If you're after a Kubro, this is pretty much what they are. This will be your starting companion. Basically, you got a storyline kind of mission that leads towards teaching you how to do that. Different types and all. Then of course you get Smeeters, which are basically cat types, which seem to be, there we are, there's both types. There's more variety to the Kubros. There's only the two Smeeters that I know at the moment. Sorry, not Smeeters. The Kavats. But yeah, so that's that. Other than that, you'll get these Sentinels. They're pretty cool. There'll be companions that'll come later. Alrighty. So here we've got our setups and everything. Emotions, you can set those up. Dancing, greeting, sitting, all sorts of things. Gear, your basic gear setup is pretty much squad healing, shields, health, armor, well, not armor, but energy and ammo. You get some scanners. There's some things to scan in here. Aside from scanning every enemy and finding weak points and information about them, there is a side quest line sort of thing that has to do with scanning, where you'll get assigned a target, and you'll have to track that target down and scan the points on them to defeat them. Other things are like these specters. They'll basically provide some assistance. Throw it down, it'll spawn a little AI companion that's basically runs around at the level that you've set it down at, and great for small little skirmishes and whatnot. Can help for a fair while, but not something I would ultimately rely upon. Other than that, we have melee weapons. So right here we've got a wide variety. Redeemer, basically a shotgun with a blade on it. It's pretty damn cool. But other than that, we got a wide variety. Nunchucks here, tonfas. We got some size. Really big get away from me sword. Even some gauntlets for boxing some up. We got a glaive that is pretty fun to use, although not very strong. I would love to see it get stronger. But yeah, it's basically just throw the weapon. You can dual wield, so that's pretty cool. Smaller things, two-handed weapons, even some staves. And one of my favourite introductions actually was the rapier. It's pretty cool. Not ultimately powerful or anything, but hey, I keep it around because it's fun. Alright, secondary weapons. We have just as much a variety, basically. You can run around with a pistol shotgun or burst weapons. Yeah, even throwing weapons here. So those are fun. Some of these can have multiple settings to them too. These here, they're Castanas, basically like thrown tripwires or proxy mines, but more along the lines of a remote detonation sort of thing. So you'll be able to throw them out, attach them to walls, floors, even to the enemy themselves, and detonate them at your choice. I think you throw out like 6 of them or so. Some Chittenden, Kunai. This thing here is basically a portable grenade launcher. So that's fun. and your primary weaponry. I love running around with a bow personally, but there's a lot more variety. You got a full automatic weapon here. Here we've got a shotgun, double barrel, burst shot weapons. This thing works kind of like a flamethrower. Here you got a crossbow. This is a rather unique weapon. It kind of shoots off like if anyone's seen Stargate, okay, it works like the staff weapons there. And this one has a little added benefit though, that you can throw it like a javelin at your enemies and it'll cause a little miniature explosion where it lands too. So pretty devastating. However, you will need to go and pick that up again. So don't do that too often. But yeah, you got shotguns, burst weapons, lightning shooting weapons, bows, grenade launchers, rocket launchers, all kinds of things. So yeah, by all means, try some out, have some fun, see what you like. Even snipers in there, mind you. Although I don't know how anyone uses snipers in this weapon in this game as a primary, because most of the combat is actually close quarters or mid-range at least. And then you got your Warframes, many different types. So Banshee, Equinox, Excalibur, such. Each one has a kind of role that it tries to fit into, but there's such a wide variety in all their abilities and such.
A new alert has
Thank
begun.
you, Lotus.
It will be marked
that yeah, it'll fit into just about any kind of playthrough you could have. I mean, Ember was one of my favorites to run around with. Has an ability that just kind of like obliterates everybody in the vicinity over time. It takes a fair while. But yeah, a lot of fun just to walk into a room and watch everything low level die. Frost is still one of my primary uses. Great for defense. Throws up kind of like a giant ice globe that creates a shield you can shoot out of, but you can't shoot into. That's a lot of fun. Ivara is one I personally like to use, being a fan of using the bow. She specializes with bows and stealth. But if you're primarily into stealth, Loki over here is actually your better bet. He works out far better. Everybody late game still uses him. Necros is a necromancer. As you can tell by his stance and look, he is just menacing. All kinds of things. Oberon here, he's got some healing abilities and whatnot. Has a tendency to turn the enemy into healing with one of his abilities. But also comes with the added benefit that wild Kubros and such will not actually attack him. In fact, he has a tendency to turn them to your side for a period. So that's always fun. However, if you want to really focus on healing and benefiting people, Trinity. I cannot stress enough, Trinity is seriously awesome for that. If you've got a Trinity on your team, you pretty much don't have to worry about healing or even your energy, so long as the person is spec'd out to help out for that and does their role properly. But yeah, all kinds of things. There's so many of them in here. Even if you're just solid tanker, you could run with like, what is it, Inaros or Rhino for earlier. So pick one, give it a go. Your start off character is Excalibur, Volt and Mag, I believe they were. Excalibur everyone still uses late game, and I have come across a few Mag users as well as Volts. Basically comes down to choice, but if you're after an all-rounder because you're really not sure on how it's going to work, my suggestion would be Excalibur. He's kind of like the best all-rounder. But yep, so there's that. Appearances, you can adjust appearances of every frame. Some of them come with other helmets, others come with different skins and whatnot. Or by this point I imagine pretty much all of the frames have that. attachments, you know, like you can get the capes, you know, add other things to them. There's all kinds of stuff. Then you've got your color schemes. Unfortunately, people, if you're starting out and everything, you're going to be stuck with only the classics, and it's only this line, this little line here. Every other color palette, all other colors, they're all locked, which kind of sucks, really. But just spend a little bit of platinum on it, you know, buy some if you need to, or, you know, try to get some in the quest lines and whatnot, and then just spend a little bit onto your favorite color palettes, and after a while you'll be able to come up with some pretty awesome looking stuff. It's not just the frames though, you can adjust some of the weaponry as well. If I just do a quick run over to here, I can actually adjust the arrows fired out of my bow, as well as the you know, the skin used on the bow itself. So that's pretty cool. All kinds of customizing, all kinds of appeal. A lot of great fun to be had, and yeah, so should be good fun. I'm going to jump into a mission for you, so that you guys can see what the gameplay is like, and I'll, you know, kind of mix it up a little there, show off some few different weapons and frames, and yeah, hopefully you guys will decide to play this as well. So I'll be right back with that. Alrighty, so here we are. I'm doing an extermination mission. Please excuse if I have the mouse sensitivity up, that's a little high for you. But I'm going to be taking Navarra on for a run, just because I find it fun. So you can aim, shoot, whatnot. Jumping, double jumping, and you get bullet jumping, as well as rolling and running. Navarra is one of my speed frames, so I am running a heck of a lot faster with her at the moment than others would. Up on the top left there you can see a little mini map, points it out. If you press E, do your melee attack at any given point. So that's generally how you will fight with melee. You can pull it out. There you go. And you will learn to fight with your melee stance. You know, it'll adjust how you swing and everything, allows you to block. So basically, the objective of exterminates is just kill absolutely everybody.
Keep going. Nobody knows you're here.
So there we go. Obviously, different weaponry will involve different types of playthroughs along with your frames, but you can do all kinds of things. Stealth kills. Always fun. Don't worry about that. That's something that you'll come across later into the game. So there we go. So as you can see, rather easy. There you are. My arrows explode due to a mod I have on, sort of like upgrades and whatnot. So don't think that's normal for bows. They don't all explode. I also have a piercing mod on mine, just for, you know, nicking through resistant shields, or, you know, anyone that wants to take cover and foolishly thinks that it's enough. So you got your containers here, smalls, large. There's even a mega one that's, you know, very well hidden in the maps and doesn't always spawn. It's relatively rare actually. Yes, of course. Fun little fact of bows and some other weaponry is you can actually pin the people to walls, you know, and ceilings and whatnot. See how they just like fly off there. Resources, you'll need these for crafting stuff. Here we have a locker. Just press X on those, opens right up. So yeah, Ivara comes with a few little nifty abilities. As I said, not so much of a powerhouse character, but is good fun to use. So let's deal with you quick. And yep. Alright, because this is pretty much a good room. If you look over to the right side of the screen, see me flick through some arrows. So you have 4 types: sleep arrow, cloak arrow, dash wire, and noise. So noise works pretty much the way you would expect. It will fire off an arrow to make some noise to distract. Sleep arrow will knock out an opponent that you can hit with it. I have not found it personally useful myself, although maybe you will. Cloak arrows are pretty cool. These ones I have used on occasion. So like if you fire one here, there's a little bubble. If you step in it, cloaked. You can shoot enemies with it. It'll deal some damage. But the more fun thing to do is to shoot your allies with it. It will not harm them, but will then provide a cloak on them that they can run around with. So it's like a way of cloaking your allies. And then dash wires. These are a lot of fun to mess around with. There we go. So it shoots off an arrow that launches a wire that you can then stand on. So you can run along the dash wire. They're pretty cool. You can launch out a couple of them. So 3, 4, 5. So a whole lot of fun there. And they go in multiple different directions. But yeah, I think it's 5 of these you can shoot. And then it'll start replacing the older ones. Other than that, that's not the only arsenal that Ivara happens to come with. If we use 2, it will fire off one of those wires, or any other arrow that you've selected, in this case the cloak arrow. And there we go. So you can control where it goes. Nifty little thing.
We're on the sensors now. You've been detected.
There you go. And I end up landing it somewhere over here. But yeah. So those are pretty cool. Other than that, we have invisibility naturally for Ivara. It will drain the energy. But if you come close, you can, there you go, steal stuff. And then, move around. If you do a dash or slide move, though, it will run out, I believe. Pretty sure that's what just happened there. But otherwise, you can generally just sneak around. You can't run with it, though. As opposed to, I think, Loki's you can. Yep, and now for the more fun one, the ultimate ability of 4 for Ivara is another bow, but one that comes with a natural multi-shot on it, and get you. And this basically drains your energy by every shot rather than over time, which is fun. But if you get the wind up, you can fire, straight along, at an angle, basically however long you hold it down for. Normally it doesn't actually charge through it that quickly. That's basically just because, as I said, I've upgraded this one, so it doesn't normally do that. But this weapon will have every mod that I have on the bow goes onto this. So if you've got damage increasing on your bow, then that's what that'll do. If you've got a speed increase, such as I do, that'll head on there too. So there we go, we've killed the objectives, and now enemies are just going to keep coming, but that'll be the end of it. So good fun. After that point you want to get to the green, and that will be your extraction point. And there we have it. That is one type of level in there, and pretty easy, pretty fun. You can speedrun that a lot faster, but I've slowed it down for the sake of everyone watching. And I'll just show off a few other things, and that will be it. Alrighty, so here we have a spy mission. Great for stealth characters such as Ivara, Loki and all that. But the ultimate goal of this, get into a certain room and extract information and then get back out. Sounds pretty easy, however there are certain traps and whatnot around.
Be on the lookout for increased security measures.
Yeah, we got some wild Kubros. They will attack anything. This is a Kubro den. So if you want to stop the Kubros, destroy the den. Oh, aren't they so good? So yeah, wipe them out. If you're after a Kubro egg, destroy them. That's where you'll get them from. Didn't get them this time, but there is the chance of them dropping each time. You got dash wires that are natural, not created by Ivara. You can do that on certain wires. So yeah, but you don't need to kill anybody in here per se. Just helps, but ultimately the objective is to get through each room and get to the point. The point where the alarms can't be triggered will actually be as you start each section. So like, this is the door here. I'll hack through that console, the door will open and the level will begin. There's the goal. You can usually see where you're trying to get to, but can't get to it until you've gone through. So, easy first hacking type. This is a Grenier hacks. Always fun. Pretty easy, just get the spacebar on the points. And here we have start off area. Now, I don't know if we got any other. Yep, there we are. So you got little sensors. They run around with their little beams out and trying to sense people. If you can kill them fast enough in a single hit, then you can destroy them without them setting off an alarm. Chances are you won't be able to though. And then yeah, we got lasers, so you want to avoid any of those. Occasionally you get things like this. There we go. So that'll set that up. There's another one just over here, so you can throw. And that'll link a bridge, which you can then walk along. Or you can, take my approach if you really want. And that's just to bullet jump all the way to the top. So for this room, this is it. Normally you would, walk all the way around, dodge him and whatnot, but it doesn't matter how you get there, just so long as you can get to the room, open her up, get in and hack this console. Now if you are busted at any point, then a timer will start where they try to destroy it and everything. You do get a bonus if you can get all three of them without being busted at all. If you can get in and get out without being caught. None of that applies to anyone out here, so you can get caught as much as you want. Just don't get busted in the rooms and you'll get that bonus. So yeah, so you get the 3 points. Once you got all 3, whether you fail or win, then you extract. You do need, on a normal basis, to get at least 1 of these points. If you fail all 3, you're just out. And later on there'll be missions that will require you to get 2 minimum, so you can only fail the 1. And I think there's even certain missions, like sorties I think, where you'll have to get all 3.
The enemy will start destroying data.
Now this is pretty easy to do if you happen to be, you know, on your own, but if you are working with other people and they do something silly like get busted, then it can get pretty drastic. One strategy that a lot of players seem to use, myself included, is the idea that on a spy mission you basically just run through. One person will drop off to point A, someone goes to point B, everyone heads to point C afterwards, and that way you just knock out the levels super fast. For the sake of this room, you gotta hack some consoles, lower the water levels. Each area basically has a trick to itself. Most of them are listed out pretty obviously, some are not. But there's usually multiple ways to each room as well. For the sake of this one on Earth, I will show it to you. So hang on, there's usually a little sensor dude roaming around somewhere. Don't want to go getting busted by him, although I'm not really spotting him. Oh, I think we might be clear. So yeah, usually there's one circling around this building, but for the sake of getting into that door, you normally hack through here, and there we go, and you're in. There is actually another way in, which I will quickly show. So if you want to avoid that, and all the trouble he comes with, you can come over here, and instead of hacking the door, just come through this pipe. Good fun. Crouch down, and you'll come into here, and voila. You still need to reduce the water level, but it'll it's another way. Sorry, don't mind that. I wasn't paying much attention to it. You'll actually find it surprisingly hard to talk and think about something as well as thinking about doing something else. Not easy. Anyway, so from here I will just duck off to the next area. I will actually find a chance, if I can, to demonstrate some abilities for Frost, because he is definitely one to get and cannot be emphasized enough. Go with this, guys. Your first ability, bam, shoots forward a snowball that will damage said enemies, whatever it hits. If they live through it, has a tendency to freeze them. Always cool. Oh, wait. Okay, ability number 2. This one is pretty cool. I have extended range on, but there you go. Spiky ice shoots from the floors. And just give me a moment. In order to show off the rest of the abilities, I'll quickly do a little recharge up. Give me one more. There we go. That should be enough for it. So we'll just do this.
If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start
Alright, for the sake of this one, keep an eye out for sort of barrier sides. There'll be some lasers, there you see them. Those, if you want the quick way, right through here. Coming down. And we're in. So you just be hacked through those.
Data extracted. They won't even know it's gone. We have everything we came for.
Alrighty.
Get to extraction.
And that is that done. So we got all three without being busted. Super there.
Nobody knows you're here.
Alright, here's a few cards. So for the third ability, we get their attention and all. Third ability is Snow Globe. Basically inside this, you'll be immune to pretty much any damage from the outside. And once the enemy approaches from the inside, they will be slowed down. And it has an extra little combo effect that if you hit it with a snowball, your first ability explodes, dealing pretty much massive damage to anyone on the inside. Other than that, the only other ability left to him is his fourth ability, which, if you will observe, okay, well, it's an area of effect move. I can't seem to get a large grouping of people, but basically, there it is. That move is insanely powerful, especially if you've got some mods to increase the damage and range. You can wipe out any said room or even the whole vicinity of enemies nearby, other than anyone that seems to be protected from the cold, or basically these other certain enemies that heal when the enemies around them take damage. Those things will be the only thing left living. Alright, so here I'm just going to show off a few little moves and some powers. Like for this one, this is Ember's World on Fire technique, and the enemies in the vicinity will just ignite into flames. Useful for clearing a room, and one of my favorite things to do, really.
Life support has arrived.
It is definitely cool. And of course, when you're running around with some friends doing missions such as this one, an extraction mission, you can get some funny scenes like this. Always fun to see. While playing the game, you'll be able to pull off some pretty cool moves, great trick shots and whatnot, and you'll learn to maneuver around pretty easily. It definitely has a free-flowing feel to it. These are just a few shots of me, just basically showing off what the game can do.
There will be no stopping the Corpus if Zanuka.
Alright, and as you can see, this is what I meant by the free movement. Alright, instead of climbing the stairs, just head on right up.
Please report to my lab for reconstruction.
But yeah, so hope you end up enjoying all this, and look forward to seeing you in Warframe. By all means, come and join us. For now, that's going to be it from me. So, I am Rajin Fox, and as always, stay furry out there.